Onions, ogres, cakes, and Jesus with his stories. They've all got layers. And while our recipes call for all the layers of onions, even the ones that make us cry, and we're happy to eat all the layers of cake, and we're glad that Shrek has more to his character, we can sometimes be guilty of just taking Jesus and his stories at face value. Sometimes we think that the simple Sunday school answers are the only ones. Take the story that Jesus tells the teacher once they've had the discussion about the greatest commandment. You know the one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbour as yourself. That story that we've heard countless times in response to the follow-up question, but who is my neighbour? The Good Samaritan. I'm going to try and work through the story quickly, backwards, to find some layers. I only have 5 minutes, so I'm not going to get all of the layers. But layer one comes right at the very end. Go and do likewise. Jesus says, see those suffering on the floor and help them. Tick. Sunday school. We know that layer. Layer two. A Samaritan man was passing that way and he stopped. To a Jewish audience, the Samaritans were hated. Rob Bell once pointed out that the way that Jews felt about Samaritans was the way that we might feel about paedophiles who kill puppies. What are the audience hearing and understanding? They're hearing something about the humanity of the other and the worth of all. But we often point that out when we tell this story. Layer three. A priest and a Levite came by that way, and they kept walking by on the other side. To an audience that included teachers of the law, this bit was designed to cut deep. Jesus' challenge was simple. What matters more to you? Your status and the pretense of being clean and able to talk a good game when it comes to the law, or putting the law into practice? Are you going to do anything with the knowledge that you have? What's the point in what you do if you walk past on the other side? In some senses, it's a reiteration of layer one. And then there's layer four. A man was walking on the road from Jerusalem to Jericho. This road was known to the audience. Jesus doesn't just say, as he so often does, a generic man was walking down a generic road, but instead he says that a man was walking from Jerusalem to Jericho. In their minds, they would have been able to picture parts of the 18 miles, which had intermittent inns, but also stretches of crags and valleys surrounded by dark places and boulders. It was an unsafe place to journey, especially if you were alone, as the man in our story appears to be. Being alone could be seen as an invitation for the robbers hidden in the crags to attack. The layer here could be a judgment on the man for choosing to journey alone, or it could be a further judgment on those who knew about the road beforehand. And I think this is the layer that I need to remember in our current climate. The road through life is dangerous for those who go it alone, be it through their own choice or through the circumstance that they are alone. And my responsibility, if I've heard Jesus' convictions correctly, is to take this layer to heart today. Where possible, find a way to make the road a safer place so that all those who travel aren't going to be under threat. Where that seems out of reach, journey along the road of life with those who are vulnerable or susceptible to oppression, to add my voice and presence as a deterrent and support to them against all things that threaten the lives that matter. God, would you show us how to journey that way today? Show us the people who we can walk alongside and promote their lives. Amen.